Right. So, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me onto your show. My name is Aslam Sheikh. I'm the educationist and the founder and CEO of Alif. Alif is a company which promotes the career counseling and global perspective for higher education. Talking about our services, we help the students to identify their own strengths and weaknesses. That's a first step to start with, because unless you know yourself, you can't decide what you want to achieve in your life. So that's our first step, and from there then we guide the students to explore the foreign universities across 14 countries we work with, and we have got 200 plus universities options. So based on what is the student requirement, what he should go for, based on his budget, academic profile, we help the students and parents to identify the right university, right city, right program in abroad, along with the scholarship to save on to your cost, and give some good guidelines that how you can make a global perspective, global career. Okay, when you talk about the bachelor program, I'll divide this answer into two parts. One is bachelor, another one for masters. So if you want to go for a bachelor program, then you have options to go into the management field, and so business management studies, media and communication studies, within the field of art, if you're talking about the creative writing, then photography, then filmmaking is becoming a very prominent program to pursue. So when you talk about the engineering course, then you have got aeronautical engineering, you have got automotive engineering, you have got artificial intelligence and augmented reality programs, you have got a lot of programs related to computer and computer science. Say for example, data science, business analytics, computer engineering, networking, games development. So there are plenty of options only within the computer field. Similarly, if you're looking for a post-graduation options, then you have got of course a traditional option starting from MBA program, but MBA has also evolved over this period of time. So you have got MBA in entrepreneurship, because that's what everybody wants to be now. They want to be an entrepreneur, they want to start on their own. So you have got the focus program, you have got the programs into hospitality management, you can combine hospitality with international business management. Also you can look for programs which are traditional within MBA, like finance, marketing, HR. You can also concentrate, and you must have seen के फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी में बहुत मतलब ऐसा होता है कि MBA के अलावा मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम भी होते हैं. So if you want to concentrate on to masters, you can get into international property laws, you can get into psychology, you can get into finance as a specialized subject. So there are plenty of options for the students to choose. Yeah, I mean that's a very important question, and I believe that most of the students and parents are concerned about the budget than anything else as a first point of concern when do you talk about study abroad. Let me tell you that going abroad, the many people have got the myth about study abroad. They think that going abroad is the only cup of tea for the rich and affluent people, which is absolutely wrong. You see that what is the normal expenses in India. If you talk about the private universities like SRM, Amity, all the good universities which we have, you would see their fees is ranging between 2 lakhs to 4.5 lakhs per year, which is a very common phenomena now to spend that much money for your bachelor's. And if you're looking for an MBA program, so 8 lakhs to 28 lakhs is the fees bracket in India. If I tell you that within the same bracket, you can study in abroad also, isn't it interesting? And this is what something which many people have not been aware of. So I believe that this is what our prime goal is, to promote global education, not only for the quality of education but also as an affordability factor, so that it is easily achievable by not only by affluent class of people but for the people who are looking for a budget option. And let me give the example. You can have countries like Hungary in Europe, Germany, which offers completely a free education if you qualify for that, and it doesn't require you to go for IIT kind of hard exams. You just have a decent marks, and decent when I say not even 90, even 75 and above marks, would make you eligible to apply for the free scholarships in Germany. Hungary is a country in Europe which offers affordable living as well as affordable education. For example, you can spend as low as 4.5-5 lakhs and you can still get into. And not to go far, if you look at the South Asian countries, we have got Malaysia as the biggest example, which has been renowned in the world for affordable education at high quality. So let's take the example of Malaysia. You have got the fees there anywhere between $4,000 to $6,000. It's as good as 3 lakhs, 3.5 lakhs. So I believe if you can spend that much money in India, might as well you will spend in abroad and have an international exposure. So there are plenty of options to suits everybody's pocket. So let me break this question into small parts, because there are plenty of questions within this question. So to start with, from Malaysia point of view, what you rightly said is that if you're looking from a Muslim community point of view, and sometime the practicing Muslims, who are practicing from the outer side of their appearance, from their point of view, Europe could be a disturbing factor, because there are countries which would not appreciate you wearing hijab or displaying your religious signs, wherein Malaysia is Islamic country. So that's a first and foremost positive point. Second thing is that they are very tolerant. They are Islamic, but they are not radical. They are very democratic country. At the same time, they accept the different culture, and that's the reason why probably you see there are 4 languages. There's English, Chinese, Tamil and Malay. These are the 4 major languages are spoken with the importance in Malaysia. Secondly, when you talk about the freedom of speech, it's one of the most modern countries. It's been believed that it is going to be by 2030, it is going to be the developed nations, among the developed nations, so that you can compare with any of the European developed countries. Talking about the universities, where let me tell you, there are different types of universities in Malaysia to choose. First is a public university. So when you talk about the public university of Malaysia, they are like University of Malaysia, University of Putra Malaysia, University of Science Malaysia, University of Technology Malaysia. These are the universities which are government universities. They rank among top 50, top 100, top 200 in QS ranking in the world. Especially University of Malaysia, they rank 59th in this year. So I believe that, there's a quality of education is existing, and this is what student can experience. Apart from this public universities, you have got the second category of institute, which are the private universities. Now when you talk about private universities, there is a trend of having a foreign universities having branch campuses in Malaysia, and that's another reason why Malaysia is very famous. So if you talk about Australian university like University of Curtin, University of Taylor, Monash, they have got their branch campuses in Malaysia. From UK, you have got Nottingham, Reading, Heriot and Watt, Newcastle, Swinburne. These are the universities who have set up their branch campuses in Malaysia. And talk about Ireland, so the world's famous Ireland Surgeon School is existing in Malaysia. And by the way, let me tell you that these campuses are not just recently opened. These campuses are open as old as 94, 95 onwards, so they are there for last 20-25 years. So it's not just a foreign campuses are open in Malaysia. In fact, they became a part of Malaysia culture now. So what do you get? The best of both worlds, affordability, at the same time these foreign universities which are among the best in the world offering the same program with the same dedication in Malaysia. Yeah, I think it's a very important question, and many students would want to know the answer for this. Okay, so here how it works in abroad, in other countries, there is a law for you to allow working part-time 20 hours a week and 40 hours during the holidays. In Malaysia, you can work part-time during the semester break. So you can work 20 hours a week during the semester break, or you can also you are also allowed to work during the long holidays, and the definition of long holidays is 7 days or more. So during this period you can work. Alternatively, you can take up the on-campus job. So university, if they have a job available for you, and there are plenty of jobs for the students to find onto the university, like as a librarian, as a assisting into student union offices, student international admission offices, student activities, different clubs are there, so to run those clubs. So there are plenty of jobs available on campus which you can take up. And the third form of working while studying would be in the form of internships. So those universities who are offering a study program along with the internship, that could be another option for you to find the job. Yeah, I mean, I would just stretch this question, and I would answer in this way that if you say that which are the popular programs in Malaysia, then the first and foremost is the engineering, technology, then media and communication. These are the most popular programs in Malaysia. We talk about architecture. So University Science Malaysia, they rank among top 200 in the world for architecture program. So this is one of the very famous universities in Malaysia to look for. UTM, University of Technology Malaysia, is highly ranked for the technological related programs. So you can choose these universities according to their specialization. Here I would like to also connect your point which you earlier asked, that how do students decide, or how do we help the students to connect with these universities. So the first and foremost thing which I believe we should start with is that rather than just going on to the university option, first let's identify what's your potential. And in order to identify that, we have got India's one of the best online student ability test, which we call SAT, and that is a comprises of 3 different tests: psychological test, aptitude test, and interest test. So it comprises all these 3 tests, 200 questions you answer, and after answering these 200 questions, you will be having a very clear idea about your personality, what are the strengths, which are the areas you need to pay attention to, how do you behave, what are your likings. So you may not be clear, or you may be doubtful about your own self. So get yourself first clear, and once you get clear that you need to play with your strengths, and accordingly then we will guide you that which university or country you should select. Student from any part of India can appear for this test. You can have the report by sitting at home, and you can have a counseling on Zoom while sitting at home, so you don't have to go anywhere else. Yes, if these are the parameters which you would put forward, that I want to go to the place which is not very far from India, so that I can travel anytime, my family can easily travel. If a second criteria is that affordability, because European countries and North American countries, of course, they are very expensive. So if you want to slash your cost by 1/3 or even lesser than that, I believe that it makes a lot of sense to go to the South Asian countries. We take the small examples, like even if you want to travel to US, as a student, you just don't account your tuition fee. If you're going for 3 years or 4 years program, you would be traveling back and forth, your family would be traveling back and forth. So just imagine a one time travel is cost you approximately 1.5 lakh rupees, return fare. So if that is the amount of investment you want to make, and if you have a budget, well, you go ahead with that. But you imagine that going to Malaysia with 3 lakhs rupees fees and 17,000 airfare. So the cost wise, over the period of time, you save a lot than what you were just comparing at this moment. Well, like other countries, they offer the stay back options to the students to stay back in the country after the completion of course. Unfortunately, Malaysia does not offer any stay back option. However, whilst you are doing your studies and whilst you are there in your internship program as a part of your course, there are good chances for you to identify the relevant job for you before even you graduate. And for that, university also have got the dedicated placement cell through which they help you to identify the right jobs, right career for you, and you don't even need to wait for the graduation to get over. So if you study well, and if you follow all your projects and assignments on time, you have got a good reference letter from your academians. And if you do a lot of networking and connecting with the local employers and local companies, which we also teach whilst you are preparing yourself to go abroad for higher education. So if you follow all those things, I don't think so there should be any issue to find a right career for yourself.